You ever get that feeling like life is passing you by while you're just watching other people build things, start things, live loud, take risks, while you're sitting back, stuck in your head, stuck in your scroll, stuck in your excuses? Yeah, I've been there too. We tell ourselves we're just waiting for the right time, for the plan to be perfect, for things to settle down, but let's be honest. Most of the time, we're not waiting. We're hiding. Hiding behind overthinking, behind comparison, behind this lie that we're not ready yet. But I'm here to call that out, because here's the truth. You don't need more time. You don't need more followers. You don't need more motivation, more support, or more information. You've got everything you need. What you're missing is movement. What you're missing is courage. The courage to stop watching everyone else and start chasing what's yours. Today isn't about theory. It's not about hype. It's about truth. About waking up to the fact that the life you want, the dream you've buried, the idea you keep putting off, it's not out of reach. It's just on the other side of one choice to stop watching and start doing. Let's go. You're scrolling again, watching, liking, reposting. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a stranger. Maybe it's someone who's got what you think you want. Money, travel, success, love, recognition. And you're sitting there thinking, wow, they're really doing it. You start calculating how they got there. You start wondering if it's too late for you. You start feeling behind, maybe a little embarrassed, maybe a little ashamed, or maybe you're just numb. You close the app, you say tomorrow, and you get back to your routine. But here's what nobody's saying out loud. Watching other people live their dreams is the fastest way to forget about your own. You don't think it's a big deal because it's just a few minutes here and there, but those minutes add up. That energy you give to watching someone else's highlight reel is the same energy you could be using to build your own. And deep down, you know that. That's why it stings a little every time you see someone post that they're making moves. You know you've got something inside you, something you haven't even started yet, or something you've half started and keep pausing because life got busy, because you got tired, because it's scary. But the truth is, your dream isn't waiting forever. Every time you stop to spectate someone else's life, you're stepping off the field of your own. You're not a fan. You're a player. You've got plays to run. You've got work to do. Your ideas, your voice, your art, your business, your story. It needs you in the game. Fully present, fully engaged. Nobody's going to build your dream for you while you sit there watching them build theirs. And nobody's going to give you permission to start. You think you need a sign. This is it. You think you need more confidence. You don't. You need commitment. Confidence comes later. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. And yes, it's hard. It's uncomfortable, because chasing your dream is not a spectator sport. It's messy, it's lonely sometimes, people won't get it. You'll feel behind, you'll feel awkward, you'll doubt yourself, but guess what? So does everybody else who's actually doing it. The difference is they show up anyway. They do it messy. They do it scared. They post it, pitch it, write it, film it, launch it, even when it's not perfect. Because perfect isn't the goal, progress is. But you can't make progress while watching from the sidelines. You've got to put the phone down. You've got to close the tab. You've got to stop checking in on everybody else's progress when you haven't even checked in with your own. Are you even clear on what you want right now? Or are you just chasing what you think you should want, because that's what everyone else seems to be doing? You don't owe the world a version of you that fits their expectations. You owe yourself the version of you that's been begging for a chance. That part of you that lights up when you think about what's possible. That quiet little idea that keeps whispering, hey, remember me. That version of you doesn't get fed by watching other people win. That version of you grows by getting to work. One step, one small move, one uncomfortable conversation, one tiny risk at a time. You don't need the whole plan. You just need to start. The clarity comes from movement, not overthinking, not scrolling, not comparing, movement, action. You can't build a future by watching someone else's present. You're not stuck. You're distracted. And distraction is expensive. It's costing you time, energy, belief, momentum. You keep saying you want it. So prove it. Show up for it, not once, not when it's convenient, every damn day. Because dreams don't chase themselves, you do. And every second you spend watching someone else is a second you're not building your own. The truth hurts, but it also frees you. Because if you're the one holding yourself back, then you're also the one who can pull yourself forward. Nobody else is coming. It's on you. And that's not a punishment. That's the most empowering thing you could realize. You don't have to wait to be chosen. You can choose yourself right now, today, without permission, without approval, without the audience, because your dream was never about being watched. It was about being lived. Comparison is a distraction, not a strategy. You're not falling behind. You're just looking in the wrong direction. Every time you compare your path to someone else's, you're stepping out of your own life and into theirs. And guess what? That doesn't move you forward. It doesn't teach you anything useful. It doesn't give you clarity. It doesn't fuel your dream. It drains you. It distracts you. It makes you question things you were once certain about. Comparison is not research. It's not planning. It's not preparation. It's procrastination in disguise. You think you're getting inspired, but you're really just feeding your doubt. We've been taught to look around, to measure, to evaluate. How am I doing compared to them? Should I be further along? Should I be doing it their way? And now, with every scroll, every post, every update, it's in your face 24/7. Someone else is launching, winning, traveling, speaking, shining. And you're watching, you're questioning, you're shrinking. That fire inside you starts to flicker because instead of fueling it with action, you're dousing it with self-doubt. Look, comparison might feel like a strategy, like you're doing homework, like you're studying success, but really, it's mental noise. Because when you compare, you stop listening to your own voice. You tune out your instincts, you doubt your gut. You mute your momentum, that thing you felt so passionate about last week. Suddenly it doesn't feel good enough. Why? Because someone else is doing something different, or doing the same thing, but louder, flashier, more polished. And that voice in your head starts whispering, why bother? Or you'll never catch up. Or worse, they've already taken your spot. Let's be clear. No one has your spot. There is no line. There is no limit. There is no finish line where someone else's success means less for you. That's a lie. That's scarcity mindset. That's fear talking. The only lane that matters is yours. And the second you start veering into someone else's, you slow down. You stop, you get lost. There's a difference between inspiration and comparison. Inspiration lights you up. It reminds you what's possible. Comparison shuts you down. It tells you you're not enough. And that difference is everything. So you've got to learn to catch yourself. When you're scrolling and your energy shifts, when you're looking at someone else's feed and suddenly you feel small, stuck, late, that's your signal. That's your warning light. You've left your path. You're not strategizing. You're sabotaging. You can't build a life you love by trying to copy someone else's. You don't know their story. You don't know what they've sacrificed. You don't know what's real and what's curated. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel, your day 1 to their year 10, your rough draft to their finished product. That's not a fair fight. That's not even a real fight. And here's the real kicker. While you're busy watching them, they're not watching you. They're doing the work. They're showing up. They're failing and fixing and trying again. You could be doing the same, but comparison keeps you frozen. You sit in your head, creating imaginary scoreboards, imaginary timelines, imaginary limitations. That's not how dreams are built. That's how dreams get delayed. You think you need to be like them, but you don't. You need to be more like you, more honest, more focused, more relentless. You don't need their formula. You need your fire. Their path won't get you where you're supposed to go. It was never meant to. Your power is in your uniqueness, in your story, in your way of doing it. You can learn from people, sure, but don't try to be them. That's the trap. So if you've been comparing, good. That means you care. That means something in you is waking up. But don't stop there. Turn the comparison into clarity. What do you actually want? What are you avoiding? What's the smallest step you could take right now toward your own goal instead of watching someone else chase theirs? You want momentum, get back in your lane. You want confidence, do the work. You want peace, stop trying to measure up to people who aren't even playing your game. You're not here to mimic, you're here to build. And you can't build anything worthwhile while constantly checking someone else's progress. Comparison is a distraction. Your life deserves better. Action beats analysis every time. You already know what you want to do. Maybe not every step, not the whole plan, but you know, deep down the idea is there, the dream, the change, the shift. But instead of doing something about it, you're stuck in your head, spinning, thinking. Rethinking, Googling, making lists, rewriting those lists, watching videos, listening to podcasts, researching the perfect time, the perfect way, the perfect method. You're convinced you're getting ready. You tell yourself you're planning, but you're not. You're hesitating. You're hiding behind preparation because it feels safer than motion. You can't think your way into success. You have to move. Because no matter how smart you are, no matter how well you plan, no matter how much you analyze the risks, none of that replaces action. Action is what turns thoughts into reality. Action is what teaches you what works and what doesn't. Action is where the real learning happens. You won't figure it all out in your head. You'll figure it out by doing. We're taught that we need to have everything lined up before we start, that we have to know all the answers, anticipate all the obstacles, read all the books, follow all the experts. But overthinking is a silent killer of progress. You think you're playing it smart, but you're just playing it safe. You're afraid to make a mistake, afraid to look stupid, afraid to get it wrong, and that fear is costing you way more than failure ever could. Because the truth is, you can't avoid failure. Not if you're actually trying to do something meaningful. Failing is part of the process. It's not the enemy. Paralysis is the enemy. Sitting on an idea until it fades is the enemy. Waiting until you're ready is the enemy. You want to know who wins, the person who takes action, even messy, imperfect, awkward action. While you're still writing a game plan, they're already in the game, learning by experience, adjusting on the fly, building momentum. That's the difference. That's the gap. Not intelligence, not resources, not luck. It's motion. It's energy. It's movement. They act while you're still stuck thinking about all the ways it might not work out. And then you watch them succeed and wonder why you're still in the same place. It's because you chose safety over speed, caution over courage, preparation over participation. Look, this doesn't mean planning is bad. This isn't about being reckless. But you don't need 10 steps ahead. You need one action, one call, one email, one draft, one prototype, one post, button, one decision. That's it. Action breeds clarity. Action shows you what's possible. It moves the idea out of your head and into the world where it can grow, where it can evolve. Thinking alone doesn't do that. It just keeps you stuck. You can't correct something that hasn't even started moving. You can't get feedback on something that doesn't exist. You can't gain confidence from ideas. Confidence is earned in motion. You want to feel ready, then act. You want to feel capable, then act. You want to feel like you're making progress. Act. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait for more information. You already have enough to start, and once you start, the path gets clearer. Action is magnetic. It pulls in opportunities, people, ideas, energy. It creates momentum, and momentum is what keeps you going when the motivation runs out. But none of that happens until you stop thinking and start doing. There's no magic plan, no perfect scenario, no secret strategy that's going to make it feel easy. It's never going to feel easy. It's going to feel real, which is exactly what you need. You don't need more theory. You need movement. You can sit there thinking for another 6 months, or you can make the call today. Send the pitch today, write the first page, film the first video, launch the ugly version. Tell someone your idea out loud, even if it sucks, even if you're scared, even if you're not ready. Because guess what? Nobody's ready. Everyone who's doing it is figuring it out as they go. Everyone you admire started before they were ready. The difference, they acted. So ask yourself, what am I waiting for? And then do one thing. Just one. You don't need permission. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need movement, because action will teach you what thinking never could. Every single time you keep saying it, I just need more time to figure it out, more time to get ready, more time to build the perfect plan, get the right resources, feel more confident. But if we're being real, and I mean really real, time isn't your issue. It's never been your issue. You've had time. You've got time now. What you're missing isn't hours on the clock. What you're missing is courage, the guts to start, the nerve to move forward, the bravery to do it before you feel ready. It's easy to hide behind time. I'll do it after this season ends. Once things settle down, then I'll focus on it. When I have a little more space, I'll finally go all in. You know what that is. Delay dressed up as strategy. Procrastination wearing a productivity mask. You don't need more hours in the day. If more time was the answer, you'd already be halfway there. The truth is, you're scared. Scared to start, scared to suck, scared to get it wrong, be seen, be judged. So instead of calling it fear, you call it a lack of time. But deep down, you know that's not it. Because if something really matters, you make time. You find a way. You cancel the scroll. You wake up early. You say no to the stuff that doesn't move the needle. You carve out space, even when it's inconvenient, because it matters. But that only happens when you stop lying to yourself. When you stop saying, I'm too busy, and start admitting, I'm scared to try. That's where the power is. When you call fear what it is, you can do something about it. When you keep blaming time, you stay stuck. Courage isn't loud. It's not about being fearless. Courage is quiet. It's that tiny voice that says, I'm going to try anyway. Even when the outcome is unknown. Even when your hands are shaking. Even when you have no clue how it's going to turn out. And that voice, it's always there. You've just been drowning it out with excuses. Think about all the moments you've wasted waiting for the right timing, waiting for someone to validate your idea, waiting to feel ready. And where did it get you? Exactly. Still waiting, still watching, still wondering. Time didn't fix anything, because time doesn't give you clarity. Action does. Time doesn't give you confidence. Movement does. Time doesn't make you bold. Decisions do. You think more time will eliminate the fear. It won't. You'll still be scared in a week. You'll still doubt yourself next month. The circumstances might change, but the fear will still be there. The only way out of fear is through it, and the only way through it is with courage. Courage means sending the message, making the call, starting the project, taking the class, asking for the raise, launching the product. Saying the thing that's been sitting in your chest for years. It means showing up. Messy, unprepared, imperfect, but still showing up. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need the full blueprint. You just need to take the next brave step. And here's the real twist. Once you do, everything changes. Not because the fear goes away, but because you realize it doesn't have to stop you. You build evidence that you're capable. You create momentum. You become someone who acts, not someone who waits. That's the shift. That's where the power is. But you only get there if you stop saying, I need more time, and start asking, what would I do if I was brave right now? Time isn't going to give you a miracle. It's not going to hand you your dream. It's not going to remove the fear. What you're waiting for doesn't come with the clock. It comes with the courage to go get it. Every breakthrough starts with one bold move. One decision to stop stalling and start stepping up. Your future doesn't need more of your excuses. It needs your courage right now. What you envy in others is a clue to your calling. You ever notice that sting? That little twist in your gut when someone else is doing the thing you wish you were brave enough to do? When they post the project you've been dreaming about? When they launch the business, write the book, move to the place, take the risk, speak on the stage, and you catch yourself staring? You're happy for them, really you are, but there's something else underneath that smile, that tight feeling in your chest. That's not jealousy, that's direction. That envy you feel, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's a flashlight, a signal, a clue. It's pointing you towards something that matters to you, something you want, but maybe haven't had the guts to admit yet. Maybe you've buried it. Maybe you've downplayed it. Maybe you've convinced yourself it's not realistic, or you missed your window, or you're not good enough, talented enough, worthy enough. So you watch other people live it out, and you tell yourself stories about why they can, and you can't. But here's the thing, you don't envy what you don't care about. You don't envy what doesn't resonate with something already inside you. That hit of jealousy, that's your soul poking you in the ribs saying, hey, that could be you. Not because you want to copy someone else's life, but because something about it is speaking to your purpose. Something in what they are doing feels aligned with what you could be doing, should be doing, if you had the courage to go for it. We've been taught to run from envy, to shut it down, to pretend we don't feel it. But what if you leaned in instead? What if, instead of scrolling past that person and muttering, must be nice, you asked, what exactly am I reacting to here? Is it their freedom, their creativity, the impact they're making, the lifestyle, the self-expression? Because that right there is information, and you can use it. That's data from your intuition. That's insight from the part of you that remembers who you are before the world told you who to be. You're not here to be bitter. You're here to get better. And that means being honest with yourself about what you want. You can't build a fulfilling life while pretending you're satisfied with something that leaves you empty. You can't chase your own path if you're still too afraid to admit where your heart actually wants to go. And envy, that's one of the rawest, realest signs you've got. It's not a flaw, it's feedback. Let's get practical. The next time you feel that gut punch of envy, pause, don't judge it, don't numb it, don't scroll past it. Get curious, ask yourself, what about this person or situation is bothering me? Be specific. Is it the fact that they're speaking their truth while you've been staying quiet? Is it that they're creating consistently while you're still stuck in perfectionism? Is it that they believed in themselves enough to start? The answers will expose the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap is your work. But here's the key, once you know, you have to do something about it. Envy without action turns toxic. You'll start resenting people who are just mirrors of your potential. You'll start criticizing the very things you secretly wish you were brave enough to pursue. You'll talk yourself out of your calling while watching someone else live it. That's a slow death. You don't want that, so flip it. Let your envy fuel you. Let it wake you up. Let it show you what's possible. Because if you're watching someone do something that lights you up and breaks your heart at the same time, it's not just about them. It's about you. That's your calling tapping you on the shoulder. That's your potential banging on the door. That's your future asking, are you done watching yet? The truth is, what inspires you in others is already planted in you. It's already there. You wouldn't even notice it if it wasn't part of your design, but it's not going to grow by watching. It grows by action, by facing the fear, by saying it out loud, by stepping toward it even when it feels uncomfortable. So the next time you feel that pang, don't push it down. Pay attention. That feeling isn't the problem. It's the invitation.